Hello students, this is your first ever lecture of economics in grade 11. I'm sure economics is not a new word for you. You have studied economics in your ninth and 10th as well. But if I ask you to define economics, I think that will be a tough thing because you have studied about things like money, things like development, things like resources or factors of production, but you have never exactly defined economics in your ninth and 10th. So, now with an introduction chapter to microeconomics, today's lecture will be all about defining economics and studying about scarcity and choice. So, what is economics all about? Economics is all about money. And before we define economics, we need to know what is an economy. So, an economy is a system which provides work to people so that they can earn their livelihood. See, when we say people, people have one thing which cannot be avoided, that is wants. So, all the system which is working in an economy operates only because of wants. Because we have wants, that is why we do consumption, we do production, there is investment being done in the economy, there is distribution. So, when all these activities are performed, the system is known as an economy. So, an economy is a system which provides work to people so that they can earn their livelihood. The various activities which are performed in an economy are known as economic activities, and I just told you they are consumption, production, investment, distribution, etc. Now, let me bring up a term which is known as end and another term which is known as means. So, I told you that everything in an economy revolves around human wants. There is no single human being on this earth which who would say that he or she does not have any wants. As long as we are alive, we have wants, and the good thing or maybe the special thing about these wants is that these wants are unlimited and they keep on multiplying, they keep on increasing. You'll always find something new to ask for, you will always be wishing to have something new. So all those human wants keep on increasing and they are unlimited. There will never be a person who will say that I have no want left with me. If a person is alive, he is wanting or he is asking for so many things. So the satisfaction of these wants is an end, is a destination which we want to reach. So when we say end, it means the end of this journey in economics is about satisfying human wants. So human want satisfaction is an end which every human being wants to achieve, and it is to achieve this end that we do consumption. Why do we eat food? Because we have a want, we want to fill our stomach. So that is why we eat food. There are so many wants which are always connected with fulfillment or contentment. Whenever there is consumption, automatically there comes production. The moment I think of consuming something, there is some other person who gets the idea of producing that thing. I wanted a bread, so I demanded for a bread. At the same time, some person got this idea that I should produce bread so that the other person can consume it. So consumption leads to production, and there are always activities like investment and distribution which we would be considering afterwards. So we are understood with what are human wants, and these satisfaction of these wants is the end which we want to reach. Now how do we reach this end? What are the means which can help us in achieving this end? These means are resources. So resources are the means which help us to achieve the end. The end is satisfaction of human wants. Talking of resources, resources would mean land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. You have done it in your previous classes as well, that there are four factors of production. These are the four factors or four resources which help in production of goods and services. Talking of you as a student, for you, let me say your pocket money is your resource. So you get a pocket money, and with that pocket money you decide which of your wants you can satisfy. And thus resource means anything that can help you in satisfying your wants. So resources are the means and the end is satisfaction of wants. When I combine this idea, I get the definition of economics, which is economics is the study of human behavior as a relationship between ends and the scarce means which have alternative uses. Let me take you to the previous page and discuss about scarce and alternative uses. Scarce means limited, and about resources it is always said that resources are scarce, resources are always less. You may be getting a pocket money of maybe 2000, maybe your pocket money goes and increases to rupees 5000 or maybe more, but every time after a few days or few months you realize that this pocket money is still less. Why? Because your wants keep on increasing. The more exposure you get to money, the more you want. So that's why we say that human wants are unlimited, whereas the resources are limited or scarce. The other thing about resources is that they have alternative uses. The pocket money which you get, you can use the same pocket money for variety of uses. So you can use it to buy a book, you can use it to go for a party with your friends, you can use it for fulfilling of your hobby like drawing or painting, you can use it to buy a new gadget. So you have so many options to decide from when you have a given pocket money. So pocket money can be used in variety of ways. Similarly, any resource can be put to variety of uses. That is why we say that resources have alternative uses. So I'm coming back again to the definition of economics, which was economics is the study of human behavior as a relationship between ends and the scarce means which have alternative uses. Now, economics tells us how to fulfill the unlimited wants using limited resources. Obviously, when we study economics, we try to find out that when can a single person be at his best, when can a person be maximum satisfied. So that all would be our further on lectures. Now let us move on to a very basic concept of economics, which says scarcity and choice. Scarcity, I just mentioned you, scarcity means being limited. So does this scarcity apply every time? Scarcity means limitation of supply in relation to demand for a commodity. Whenever something is demanded by people and it is not easily found in the market, we say it is scarce. So scarcity means being less in relation to demand for a commodity. If something has no demand, it will also not have scarcity. For example, I never want uh, uh, I never want a rotten apple. Maybe do you find people who say that I am looking for rotten apples? So it means that rotten apple doesn't have a demand. That is why there can never be a scarcity of rotten apples. Uh, so one thing very clear here is that scarcity is always related to the demand pattern. We say that oil is scarce because every country wants oil. Oil is put as fuel in your transportation. Oil is used as a fuel in factories. Oil is used as a fuel at houses. So when everybody is asking for oil, we say that we cannot produce that much of oil from nature. So we say that oil is scarce. Similarly, there are many things you can say which are scarce, which have their demand. So scarcity has connection both with supply as well as demand. The other thing about scarcity is that scarcity and choice go hand in hand. Whenever there is a scarcity, automatically there is a choice. For example, I take you to your previous example of your pocket money. When you have your pocket money with you, which you find as less, so in that case you have to make a choice whether to use it to buy a book or to go for a movie or to go for a birthday party and get a gift for your friend. So it means that you have to make a choice out of various uses. Imagine you had unlimited money with you. Imagine there was no limit to your pocket money. In that case, you never had to think of ki should I go for a movie or should I go for a book, should I go for a birthday party. You could have done all the three options. Why do you have to make a choice? Because you have less of pocket money. I have used a different example here in front of you. The example says that if I have a piece of land, supposing I have a land, that land is a resource. I can use that land either to make a house for myself, or I can use it to do agriculture. Now comes the choice. Because the land is limited, I cannot be building a house on it as well as do full fledged agriculture. So I'll have to make a choice whether to do agriculture or to make my house. So scarcity and choice always go together. Similarly, we say scarcity attracts price. Whatever is scarce always will catch a price. If I talk about sunlight, the solar energy is available to us. The sunlight is available to us in ample amount. There is no scarcity of sunlight. That is why we never pay for sunlight. But if I say about electricity, you are paying for electricity. Why? Because there is a limited production of electricity. So whichever thing is scarce automatically gets a price. And this logic explains the water and diamond paradox. If you talk about two commodities, one is water and the other are diamonds. What amongst water and diamonds do we use on a daily basis? Which of them is a necessity? Obviously water. But diamonds are expensive than water. You do not pay that much for water as you have to pay for diamonds. What is the reason behind it? The reason behind it is that water is in abundance as compared to diamonds. So diamonds are scarce. That is why diamonds attract price. Diamonds are more expensive as compared to water. So with these basics, I think we would be done with today's lecture, and you would have built your base of economics. With the next lecture, we'll be talking about what is an economic problem, and also we'll discuss